Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you to the special broadcast coming to you live out of Salam Media today, and wherever you are, whatever platform you are listening to us this morning, it's wonderful that you are able to join us. Now, this is quite an interesting discussion that we are going to be having because we are linking up with Sheikh Azmi with out of Malaysia. Now, when we look at what is taking place in Palestine, in Gaza in particular, and also we need to start thinking amidst all the death, the devastation, the destruction that has taken place in Gaza. And at some point in time, this thing has got to end, and it will end, inshallah, very, very soon. But the key issue is with regards to the people of Gaza who have basically lost everything. They've given their blood, they've given their sweat, they've given their tears, they've given their lives, and basically whatever material possessions they've had, they lost everything: infrastructure, hospitals, schools, you name it, and they've lost it. And we need to seriously start thinking about rebuilding Gaza. Now, this is what is happening out in Malaysia, and this is a discussion that we are having. We are talking with the founder and the president of MAPIM, which is the Malaysian Consultative Islamic Organization Council, Sheikh Azmi. And this is the reason why we are talking to him this morning. Sheikh Azmi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Walaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, very, very interesting when I received this notification with your organization, obviously focusing on humanitarian aid in Gaza. You've done a lot until now. You sent basically hundreds of containers to Gaza on behalf of the Malaysian government. Now, alhamdulillah, that is commended, but I know it is not enough because when one looks at the scale and the nature of the destruction that is taking place, there's just so much more we need to do.
Yes. Yeah. 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 We are continuously trying our best. I mean, we've been working in Gaza for the last probably since 2008, 2009 war. I've been in Gaza for the last about 8 times, and I've seen everything. I know um, every corner of Gaza, and this time around things immensely, beyond imagination. They have annihilated the Gaza. That's their intention. So when we are trying to put every effort we can to get our aids in, we were facing a lot of challenges. We have to deal with the government of Egypt because they decide, whether you can get through or not. So we have already sent 100 ton over of food aid, and we have got another 100 containers to be sent. And I was in Cairo. We were trying to manage all that, and we got stuck because on the day that we have moved 10 containers on that day, that's when Israel attacked Rafah, and the border was completely inaccessible. So the difficulty is there. We are always trying to do our best to work this out with Egypt, but it's also not easy. But that's the stage that we are now. We are still planning the whole thing, getting this immediate aid, although we have mid-term and long-term rebuilding assistance that we have planned.
Well, definitely. In fact, I like what you're saying. Obviously, the short term need is immediate relief, and then you're looking at medium and long term plans. And just looking at it, because I know you've got a very close association working with the Malaysian government on this
Yes.
initiative. Let's just talk about that relationship and how close is this Malaysian government as far as this cause is concerned for Palestine, and particularly with regards to Gaza and all the challenges
Mm.
that the Gaza Strip has been
Mm.
faced with.
Yes, Alhamdulillah, with the Malaysian government, I mean, we have been quite consistent since the occupation. Malaysia has always unwavering support. And therefore, with the present government, which is led by Anwar Ibrahim, and because of my personal contact, and also we have been in ABIM, the Muslim Youth Movement, so I'm able to have that access to really discuss on how we can synergize the initiatives between the NGOs like myself and also with the government. The process goes like this. Um, the government is also having its own initiative to have a fund that is managed by the government, and it's quite a significant value of what they have collected. But when it comes to sending the aid with that money and with buying things and you know sending it through air cargo, that's something else that the government really needs to synergize or work together with the NGOs. So what we did was we had a meeting with the officers that have been mandated by the Prime Minister, and we discussed thoroughly on how we're going to get this thing in and how do we distribute this aid. So there was a coordination done. We call it the Ops Ehsan project, and there are numbers of NGOs in that project, and the money is been given to us. Some we collected on our own from crowdfunding, but that's how we decided between the government and the organization to work together. Now, the number of ministries that are directly involved in this operation, quite a number. We start with the Prime Minister's office himself, and then we have the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health. We are working also with the Ministry of Human Resource, also Ministry of Works, Public Works. So there are a list of um, ministries. We are sitting down and we are framing the mechanism of how we can send the aid inside. But more so, we are planning for what we call the post-war rebuilding of Gaza. Now, we have organized a conference. Alhamdulillah, about 26 countries came, and we presented the situation that is now currently facing the Gazan people. And from there, with that discussion, we went into clustering the kind of aid that we want to channel from education to health and everything else. So that rebuilding Gaza post-war conference was a successful thing. It was supported by the government, and they liked the way that we did it. That we are very clear on the objectives. We are very clear on what to do, how to do it, and how do we implement it. Now, the tricky part of this effort is that we still are waiting for how do we deal with the authority who will be in charge in Gaza. You know very well of this Hamas and Fatah and everything. So we need to make it very clear. How do we, plan this with the knowledge and with the also information, the data that they have on the situation in Gaza. So we are mapping. On our side, we had a special letter that was sent to us, agreeing that MAPIM is one of the principal organization that will conduct this rebuilding process, and once the window is open, once the gate is open, we should be able to deal with authorities and decide where, when, and what would be the scale of the rebuilding that we're going to embark. So all this are been discussed with the government. The government has always wanted us to update, and I'm being given the honor of being the advisor of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I communicate with them, the ministry very closely, and they will then facilitate anything that can help the process of this humanitarian mission that we have decided. That's how we work with the government.
Well, Alhamdulillah, in fact, it's very, very encouraging to see that, the government has taken this to heart and being dealt with in the highest corridors of power, Alhamdulillah. And I think also for us here in South Africa, we have had a fair amount of support, in fact, great support from the government. And we're all aware it's no hidden secret now with regard to the ICJ case as well, where South Africa obviously had led this legal action at the International Court of Justice. So, Alhamdulillah, it's always great, it's wonderful to have that level of support. But also looking at this international post-war Gaza rebuilding planning session that was held. Now, I've had a look. In fact, the report was sent to me as well. Very, very comprehensive. I must say, comprehensively dealt with in each and every aspect. So there's just so much information in this report. There is just so much detail in this report, and basically, it's a plan that at the end of the day will come to fruition. And I hope that plan comes to fruition very, very soon. Once you have dealt with all the challenges.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the challenge is huge. One is to really, if there's at least a pause or a ceasefire, that even to that level, even is a temporary, still that will give us the space to really, implement this rebuilding. Now, the point that I want to probably share with you also is that, as I said just now, before when we were in 2008, 2009, we had a mission during that war. We were quite impressed by the authorities in Gaza. They are quite well managed in the sense that they have a majlis of sort where any help that comes will be vetted, and they will advise which place that this project can be done, and and they don't want any part of Gaza to be left out. So that coordination, that understanding is very helpful for us to even to understand the situation. Now, again, when you mentioned just now that the challenges is huge, and we are indeed very the Gaza and even the whole Muslims are indebted to South Africa for taking that courageous move to ICJ, and it created that repercussion of more and more countries coming on board and putting up pressure on the ICJ, and the ICC also sat down, and there were some things that is moving, although on the ground things looks even it's worsening, but the fact that there is this move both on the ground where we are thinking about this rebuilding and attending to the immediate needs, and also trying to plan for a midterm and long term kind of plans that we want to do. But on the advocacy side, on trying to put out the pressure that Israel must be forced to submit to the decisions of international community, that has to be very strong. The advocacy is a very challenging angle of our work, that there's no way that we can do it singly. It has to be a combination of countries, of organizations, and we have to strategize how to um, you know, increase the pressure. But another thing that probably I would like to share is that um, we are also engaging with an effort. I think you might have this information. There's this flotilla that's been thought of, another round of flotilla, and we are talking to the Indonesian counterpart and also Pakistan and Turkey. These are the three countries we are talking whether we can actually organize another flotilla using the Mediterranean Sea. So that is also another effort that we are doing so that more and more attention and more tangible things that we can do that can help to ease the situation in Gaza.
Well, certainly, and I think from what you're saying, obviously it requires a collective effort. It requires
Mhm.
partnering. It requires collaboration. And you mentioned some of the countries: Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, and the like as well. But also looking at like-minded NGOs right across the entire world, and also looking at international bodies that working relationship with international bodies, and we're talking about the United Nations agencies, we're talking of the Greater Muslim Ummah, we're talking of the
Mhm.
OIC countries as well. All of them obviously need to be involved or must be involved as well, because this is by
Mhm.
no means a small project. We're talking of a mammoth project on a scale and a magnitude never ever seen in our lifetime.
You're right. I mean, this. We have to accept the fact that there is this international flora uh, and forums that has somewhat, as we feel a bit frustrated of the ineffectiveness of those institutions that are supposed to have the capability, but it is really frustrating to see that um, it is not you know getting the impact that we hope for. But yet we cannot leave them alone. We have to tap the resources. We have to advocate for them to, put more effort at that level. The multilateral agencies like the United Nations and all the subsidiaries of the United Nations. And also, when you talk about OIC, again, we know that he has not been able to impact the situation in Gaza and Palestine as a whole. But yet again, I told Brother Anwar Ibrahim, OIC is still there, it's still a platform. Let's try to see how to get it moving. And I even advised him to meet some of the members of OIC talking at a unilateral kind of discussion how they can play a part and putting more effort from OIC. But another point of this linking with international organizations, I think there is a whole list of many established organizations that are there. You have the ICRC, the Red Crescents, and you have many other organizations that are working in depth independently. But I wish and hope that there is this link, this very clear link. That's why I was proposing that we have a meeting specifically on this, on talking among us and the multilateral agencies, what programs are they having, what kind of resources are available with them, and then the other will be presenting, and then at the end of that probably discussion, we will come up with some kind of a roadmap, some kind of a broader plan to help the rebuilding of Gaza. And I think our recent effort where I told them that we have to have more strategic meetings with international organizations, meaning to go very thoroughly and look at all the informations and try to see where we can use those things to for the planning of humanitarian and whatnot. But more importantly also is to play the part of we engaging with decision makers so that this issue of the, the all the resolution has not been enforced either from ICJ or any other organization, that we have to really pressure the international community that this cannot be allowed to continue. One more thing, uh, I was suggesting that now is the time that a physical intervention in the form of the Muslim countries deciding to send a peacekeeping force. Um, Although we know the procedure is almost impossible because it will not be allowed by the United Nations Security Council because it will be vetoed by US. But since uh, Israel has never you know comply with all the international resolutions, with even with Security Council decision. So the question now is, why are we so submissive? I mean, the things are getting out of hand. Is Israel will never want to comply, and therefore, why is the world waiting? We have to make a decision. It's either we go in, the implication will be high. I don't deny that, but we do not have any choice. The world cannot just sit back and just keep on rhetorically say about the situation and send some humanitarian aid. But the fact that Gaza is at the brink of total destruction, and the only way is that we have to stop it by having an intervention right inside Gaza, and Israel will have to face the consequences.
Yes, in fact, what you're saying is very, very true, and it's actually said when we see how impotent, we have been, but also at the same time at the mercy of international bodies like the United Nations, the veto powers, the rules, the laws that actually apply on an international level. But just finally. What I'd like to also just focus on, apart from Gaza, clearly there are other areas of Palestine as well. We are looking at the West Bank, and we know what is taking place in West Bank, and then central to the Muslim cause. And when Ismail Haniya, the late Sheikh Ismail Haniya, rahimahullah, announced the Al Aqsa flood, he spoke about Masjid Al Aqsa, and this is where all of us as a Muslim ummah need to take note of that at the end of the day, yes, Gaza has been destroyed, the West Bank is suffering, but at the end of the day, central to our cause is the liberation of Masjid al Aqsa.
Exactly, brother. That is the most important thing to understand. Even the storm, the Taufan Al-Aqsa storm, by just taking the word Al-Aqsa into that mission that they had on the 7th October 2023, the fact that Al-Aqsa was the theme gives us the message that they say it's not just about saving Gaza. It's actually about liberating Al-Aqsa, and therefore the issues of our brothers are also facing this genocide also in West Bank, in Jenin. That should make us to understand that the Gaza is part of Palestine, and because it is been have this huge aggression and atrocities and assault by Israel, that we accept. We have to give a very important focus on it. But we have to understand we are seeing Palestine as a whole. You have the West Bank, you have the Baitul Maqdis, and it's very important Baitul Maqdis become the central part of our struggle to liberate it, and to also to say that would be the rallying point, the unifying point of the Ummah is to look at Al-Aqsa. And if we can't understand them, then it will be a great failure. I would suggest that we are mobilizing this, brother. We're doing, the number of masajid in the whole world is about 4.5 million. And we have on the 21st of August a day, what we call the World Mosque Day. 21st of August in 1969 was an arson incident by this person who tried to burn down the Al-Aqsa, and all the Muslim leaders came, and we decided to establish OIC. But we also announced that that day, 21st August, must be remembered, and they officially announced that it is a World Mosque Day, 21st August of every year. So with the sense of, all masajid has got a role, all masjid, we definitely now we have to take this effort so that we can reach out to as many people to work on the liberation of Palestine, especially of Al-Aqsa.
Well, Jazakallah khairan so much, Sheikh Azmi, for your
Barakallah.
time with us this morning. I know you've got a very, very busy schedule, but Alhamdulillah, you've
Mm.
taken time out to talk to us right here on Salam Media, Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
And looking forward, inshallah, to future engagements. We certainly will be interested in you keeping us updated, your organizations, MAPIM as well, keeping us updated in terms of what the developments are and what progress is being made, inshallah. So we'll take it forward from there.
Inshallah.
But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. Allah reward your efforts as well, to your organization, to yourself, and everybody
Thank you.
else
Amin.
in Malaysia,
Amin.
inshallah. Allah accept each and every effort of yours.
Amin. Amin. Thank you. Barakallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That was Sheikh Azmi joining us from Malaysia, and I must say, very, very inspired in terms of what the organization is doing strategically, and also looking at this international post-war Gaza rebuilding planning session that was held. There's just so much, and there is quite a comprehensive report, inshallah, and we look forward to further engagements with the organizations. But for now, I'm signing off from myself and the team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam wa rahmatullahi.